Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Sports Center. My name is Alexis Cox.
I'm Sawyer Hobbs.
I'm Wooley.
And I'm Bogar.
We've got a lot on the list for tonight. We're going to talk about Willie Cauley-Stein and his name change, the NFL draft. We're going to talk about social media going crazy. We've got our fellow broadcaster, Britt McHenry, in some trouble, and a lot of other issues. So, Sawyer?
Thank you, Alexis. Sports news today. Former UK Wildcat basketball star Willie Cauley-Stein changes his name to Willie Trill Cauley-Stein. The reason behind this? His teammates gave him the nickname and it just stuck, said Stein. NFL draft kicked off last week as Jameis Crablegs Winston was the first pick of the 2015 NFL draft, drafted by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Florida State phenom went first pick over Heisman Trophy winner Marcus Mariota, who was drafted to the Tennessee Titans in the very second overall pick. Moving on to basketball, LeBron shocked that his team lost Game 1 in Cleveland last night to the very average Chicago Bulls. LeBron had 19 points, Kyrie had 30. The real winner here was Derrick Rose, who had 25 points, leading the Bulls to a 99-92 victory over Cleveland. The fight of the century was on the same day as the Derby this year. Floyd Money Mayweather versus the humble Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao. The undefeated Mayweather continued his streak by beating Pacquiao in a 12-round grudge match. Let's see what social media has to say about these topics. Kyle?
Thank you, Sawyer. As we take a look into the Twitter sphere here, we see that our very own Sports Center, us here, was the first on the platform to show Willie Cauley-Stein's name change. And quickly, UK fans responded to this. Jordan Merrill tweets at Willie, saying, changing his middle name to Trill is so clutch. Hashtag Willie Trill, which is actually trending on Twitter at the moment. And to move to the Maypac fight, we see a bunch of different reactions to this. Childish Gambino says, Mayweather has hugged Manny more times than my dad has hugged me in my life. And Anthony Trolley says, I've seen better matches on Tinder. Hashtag Maypac. So not only do the two fighters have different fighting styles, they also live very different lifestyles. And we see this with a tweet displaying a comparison of the two photos showing Mayweather standing in an airport runway with multiple of his billion-dollar cars and his own private jet, while Pacquiao posts a selfie of him and his mother on the way to church. So these tweets obviously show two different lights that can be portrayed through social media. But fun fact, Pacquiao spent $4 million to seat his people from his own country to watch his fight and show him support. So what do you guys think? Hashtag Maypac, tag us on Twitter, let us know what you're thinking. Guys, I think it's really interesting how quickly we can get different thoughts and opinions of different people of different topics in sports.
And it's crazy how fast things can travel online, but obviously our fellow broadcaster, Britt McHenry, was not aware. She's actually been suspended by ESPN Network following an altercation with the towing company after her car got towed because she left it at a Chinese restaurant. All of this was caught on the camera in the towing company, and she said things like, I have a degree and you don't, I wouldn't work in this scumbag place like this, and obviously she needed a PR professional to handle her crisis. According to Mashable.com, public relations is the practice of managing the flow of information between an individual or an organization and the public. So Britt was definitely in need of a PR professional. She issued a statement via Twitter and saying, in an intense and stressful moment, I allowed my emotions to get the best of me and said some insulting and regrettable things. As frustrated as I was, I should always choose to be respectful and take the high road. I'm so sorry for my actions and will learn from this mistake. She was very apologetic in her Twitter online. I think that was a very good move made by her PR professional. But obviously, her opinions are not an accurate reflection of the company or its employees. So I think it was really important that they suspended her to show that that's not what ESPN believes in. They obviously diffused the situation very fast, and the faster you can tend to situations, when it comes to communications and PR, you can potentially lower the chances of a large amount of damage being done to the company. And that's what ESPN has done so far. So I think monitoring our social media accounts is a good idea, especially for us as employees, because we are a representation of the company. And even though this is a negative reflection of women in the sports industry, ESPN has recognized a new perspective of exposing women in the media and in the sports world.
Right, thank you very much. Even though over the last couple of years, since the creation of 1979, ESPN has seen exponential growth in its performance, it has lacked in reaching different demographics that today I believe should be touched upon. And of course, I'm talking about women and their role in sports. The lack of interest in the inadequate coverage of women's sports can be seen through the ESPN ticker that shows 96.4% of information that is primarily based on male sports, basically displaying the fact that the importance is held on men and their updates in the sporting world rather than women. In order for us to improve this problem with the women demographic is by expanding ESPN networks and channels such as ESPNU, ESPN2. I believe that as a company, if ESPN is able to create an ESPNW, which focuses primarily on women's sports, then there may be a better following in both men and women and an interest due to the advertising and marketing and possibilities of being able to see a different type of athletics in the world of our sports.
And that's it for today's show, but tomorrow we'll be talking about Billy Donovan and his transition from college basketball to the pros. He'll be coaching the Thunder as the 2016 season gets kicked off next year. Da, 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 da.